Episode 522.
Good work, everyone.
Ye Shu had come alone, yet despite their numbers, the other side had already lost the battle of presence. No one spoke. In the end, it was Ye Shu who broke the silence, and with his very first words he managed to leave everyone speechless once more.
Who's first to trade?
Ye Shu asked.
I'll go first.
A character walked over to Lord Grimm's side. It was just an in-game avatar, but it somehow managed to look utterly dejected. The group realized this really did feel like a surrender ceremony, and they were the ones surrendering.
Oh, it's you.
Ye Shu looked at the name of the first player who came to trade, and casually flipped through his notebook.
Died 5 times. You've had a rough go of it.
The Misty Rain Pavilion representative, having died 5 times, hastily concluded the trade and scurried away.
You died 3 times. Not easy.
The second Herb Garden player to step up for the trade received the same commentary from Ye Shu, completed the transaction just as quickly, and turned to leave.
4 times. Twice. Hey, not bad. You haven't died once. So, what do you think? Interested in joining our happy guild? Our guild could really use someone with your kind of luck.
When the final player stepped forward, Ye Shu noticed in his notebook that this person didn't have a single cross marked against them. He was immediately impressed and even tried to recruit them. But that guy also stormed off in a huff after the deal was done.
You're so mean.
Watching Ye Shu collect the materials, Chen Guo knew he wasn't being sincere. He was just mocking them. In professional terms, that's just trash talk. He was laughing so hard he could barely stand up straight, all while managing to throw in a look of utter disdain.
5 guilds. 2 left. Looks like they're not going to play ball.
Ye Shu looked at his notebook. The last 2 guilds that hadn't made any contact with him on this matter were the 301 and Wind Howl guilds.
Just confirming.
Both guild leaders on Ye Shu's friends list were online. He sent them each a message, and their replies were essentially the same. We can't afford to mess with this, so we'll just steer clear.
What a shame.
Ye Shu sighed. For him, of course, he'd have preferred it if they'd just given him the materials. For guilds that retreat to other leveling zones, their progress might slow down. But against a fledgling guild like Happy, creating this kind of zero-sum situation doesn't actually give them much of an advantage. They're not even on the same playing field. The ones who'll be happiest about this retreat are probably the other club guilds. For Ye Shu, he preferred more practical things like materials.
Not a bad haul.
Ye Shu counted the piles of materials in his bag, thoroughly pleased. While the materials he'd just acquired weren't strictly necessary for the Myriad Manifestations Umbrella's upgrade, they provided the capital needed to trade for anything that was. Now, aside from a few materials that would be extremely limited in quantity, the rest could be fully covered by their accumulated stockpile, paving the way to upgrade the Myriad Manifestations Umbrella to level 50. But the truly critical upgrades lay ahead. From this point on, Ye Shu would no longer have such a clear-cut list of materials to choose from. He would have to rely on his established theories and proceed through trial and error. In this process, there's a chance that choosing the wrong material could ruin the Myriad Manifestations Umbrella. In that case, you'd have to start building it all over again from scratch. So the stockpiling of materials wouldn't stop here. Even Ye Shu wasn't confident he could perfect the process for the 50 to 70 level range on the first try. Even if he succeeded, the result might not be his most ideal version. Upgrading the Myriad Manifestations Umbrella before level 50 was just about gathering materials. The real work begins after 50. With these calculations in mind, Ye Shu had already piled all the newly collected materials back into the warehouse. It started with just earning a few materials here and there by playing for others, then came the wager with Wang Jixi, followed by the large-scale sale of dungeon records, and now this surrender compensation. The warehouse's stock had grown from the lowly to the luxurious, a dazzling array of goods. And every single one of them is a rare material. Chen Guo, standing to the side, was utterly dumbstruck. She was just an ordinary, by-the-book glory player, Even if she piled together every rare material she'd ever gotten over the years, it wouldn't come close to what she was seeing now.
How is this game even supposed to be played?
Chen Guo felt a lump form in her throat. After tidying up the warehouse, Yi Shu received a message. It was from Night Frost River, still eagerly reporting their findings.
Nah, we're good.
Yi Shu replied.
Hesitate. What's up?
The question echoed across the cold midnight lake.
They won't be causing any more trouble.
Huh?
Night, crossing the cold pond, understood in an instant. There was something he wanted to say, but in the end he held it back.
Aren't you the one causing trouble here?
With everything settled, the 301 and Wind Howl guilds had already quietly left the Thousand Wave Lake leveling area. Feigning a departure only to sneak back and level in secret was a decent enough trick, but right now no guild was in the mood for that kind of game. Everyone had had their fill of leveling on edge. After sending Night Frost away, Ye Shu took the initiative to send a message to Blue River.
We don't need the intel anymore.
What is it?
As usual, Blue River naturally had to ask about it.
They won't cause any more trouble.
Yi Shu's answer was the same.
You're the one causing trouble.
Unlike Cold Night Pond, Blue River was the type to speak his mind.
You guys started it first.
You're the one who poached him first.
I didn't. I just said I was Yi Chu, and people came on their own. Can't even tell the truth these days.
Blue River was practically in tears. Once again, he'd been thoroughly defeated.
We're heading into a dungeon. Got a spot open, you in?
Yi Shu asked Blue River. By now, the various guilds had finished their 3 dungeon runs, and it was close to 2 in the morning. Su Mucheng had a professional match the next day, so she had decided to call it an early night and logged off first. Blue River was left speechless.
If you 5 are a team, that leaves 3 people without one, right? Need a ride?
You take one. What about the other 2?
Oh,
Yi Shu replied, then added,
we miscalculated. After you 5 form a team, there are only 2 of you left.
Blue River paused. Of course, there was originally Thousand City, but now that he's jumped ship, there are only 2 left. 2 people can't possibly run a dungeon, right?
Come on, we can carry one.
Then what about the other one?
Just team up with players from other guilds.
Yi Shu had a point. For a while now, the top-level guilds had been running these mixed teams. After all, if a guild sent 8 people to chase a record, they'd need 5 for the main run, leaving the other 3 to grind dungeons on their own, a much tougher slog. Since it was just them here, with no random pickup groups around, they sometimes didn't bother wasting time and just teamed up with other guilds to get it done. The proposal Yi Shu had just made was actually a common practice among the major guilds these days. It's just, Blue River couldn't shake the feeling that teaming up with Happy would be like getting into bed with the enemy.